looked at you. Oh, he's immune. Oh, no more special. What is up, Gorilla Nation? It is Relentless here, bringing you yet another Division 2 build video. But if you would be so kind, show some love to that like button. Also, smash that sub button if you happen to be new to the channel. And don't forget to reach up there, trigger that bell, and turn on post notifications. So that way you never miss a live stream or a video that is uploaded. First and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for sending those positive thoughts and prayers my way. I am actually home, finally. A little sore, a little in and out of it, but I'm still trying to put up content and grind everything, all this new stuff, and let me tell you, it is definitely a grind. But I asked in one of my community posts the other day what builds that you would like to see, and you all asked, well, some of you, most of you, asked for a true Patriot build. Now, I did go on the YouTube sphere and, check over some thumbnails, and for the most part, everybody was trying and running the LMG, and either they were going to like full tank more or less and just using the debuffs whatnot to more or less be a support build, and they really didn't have any heals, nor did they had DPS, or they went with the crit way with DPS and then they have no survivability, no heals whatsoever. So I wanted to kind of flip the script, put my little take on it, and right now I'm really loving SMG. So this is my take, but let's hop into the skill tree first and foremost. We are utilizing the Technician, and the reason for that is a few things as followed. One of the main parts of the skill tree is plus 10% skill healing. Then, of course, you have the gain 15% bonus armor while aiming a skill. That works out well when you're utilizing the chem launcher and you're going to shoot it on to your teammates. Now, the other, definitely with all the dogs and the Betty and Lucy types like Atlas roaming around in New York City, then the extra damage to dogs and drones definitely comes in handy. Armor kit also applies to all friendly skill proxy within 10 meters. And of course, you get that +1 skill tier absolutely free that makes all your skills just a little bit more potent. And the only thing I have spec'd into right now, as you can see, I'm still more or less leveling it up, but I do have the 15% increased submachine gun. And then we'll go ahead and just add up the assault rifle. But basically, those are the two main points. Also, against those dogs, once they're sitting still for a moment, you hit them with an EMP, and then you're just like, sit, boy, sit down, good boy. And then you can focus them down pretty easily after that. So the EMP grenades does come in handy. The Rikers that pull up their little shields and sit behind the little LMG guns or whatever, you can also dispatch them with EMP grenades. So EMP grenades are really, really handy in New York City. But let's hop over the build itself now. 4 pieces of true Patriot, 1 Helagard, and 1 Sokolov Concern for the 10% LMG damage. So let's start out with the main component, and that is the true Patriot. Starting out first with the talents, per 2 pieces you get 30% ammo capacity, and per 3 pieces you get 30% magazine size, and of course the red, white, and blue. Red amplifies the enemy's damage taken by 8%. So when they're got the red flag, all your teammates, including yourself, get 8% additional weapon damage to further my DPS. The red amplifies the enemy's damage taken, which is already just said, so apologies. Moving on white, shooting the enemy repairs you and your allies' armor by 5% once every second. Definitely come in handy. Prolong your survivability. And of course, blue decreases the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. So all in all, you reduce the incoming damage by 8%, and then you increase your outgoing damage by 8% as well. And of course, enemies that die while under the effect of all three debuffs create a 5-meter explosion, and it goes off like the 4th of July, dealing damage equal to their total health and armor. Explosion damage reduced on named enemy deaths. So even if they're elites, or purples, how spongy they are, still that explosion, like it says, is amplified by the overall health of that NPC. But the attributes, these are the best ones I could find thus far. So if you have better ones, then be sure to spec it into how you see fit. I'm still quite unsure to where I wanted to drop one blue Lego and go with more DPS, or I want to drop one blue and go with another skill tier to further my healability. But I have 125, 9, and 43 armor, 19.1% repair skills, almost its max, and then in the mod slot, I think actually I come across a better one. Yep, 13.5% right here. So another 3% all in all makes it even better. Now on to the holster, 139, 612 armor, and of course 12.6% repair skills. On to the backpack, 136, 382 armor, 20% repair skills, get the max on it, and then it has a defensive Lego mod slot with 15.1% incoming repairs. And then finally the gloves, the ones I have here, 129, 727 armor, and then 15.9% repair skills. As soon as I find another better roll on for gloves, around that 20% mark, then I will apply that here. I do have another pair of gloves here, but as you can see, the armor value is lower. So I would figure once, comes later on, like if I wanted to go the route per se of making a crit build or damage build or whatnot, then it's good to have other pieces so I don't have to keep re-rolling the same piece. But these definitely come in handy, so that way I can just take off the repair skills. But repair skills are just so good. And if you don't know what, or kind of confused as far as what repair skills do, I'll take a brief moment. Repair skills is not repairing your skills, it's actually the skills used to repair your armor. So repair skills for this case, it amplifies my heals, or my armor repair, either by drone, chem launcher, hive, pokey heal, whatever that you use to repair your armor. That is what it applies to. Moving on, the one piece of Sokolov concern, 13.4% weapon damage, 17,704 health. Instead of that health, I'd probably prefer skill haste here, because every little bit helps, or even skill damage if I wanted to forego the whole hive heal. But I utilize that in order to get the most bang for my buck when it comes to heals, not only for myself but also for my teammates. So it just goes up to your personal preference. And once again, 18.6% repair skills. Now on to the chest piece, +1 skill tier, 14.1% repair skills, and then it has 4.3% crit chance. It originally had armor on it. It put me at like 1.5 mil, and my heals were, they were mediocre, but they were better than it normally is, just because I have all the repair skills stacked. But this made it even better. And the only thing that would actually further make this a god piece would have actually skill haste, where it has the 4.3 crit chance. But since I'm running SMGs, that crit chance definitely does come in handy. I'm using empathetic resolve. Repairing an ally increases their total weapon and skill damage by 3 to 15% for 10 seconds, 1 to 7% if self-effectiveness is increased by your skill tier. So I have 2. And like I said, I'm trying it out still. I've played several, been doing a lot of challenging missions, roaming around New York, trying to find, all these roaming bosses to try to get these exotic drops, and of course, the Lady Death. But it all depends on your personal preference. And once you find your, play style and what you prefer, whether you want a little more DPS and take a little bit of armor off, or do you want to further output your skill power and go up a tier and come out a little bit less in your armor as well. You take out one piece of armor, it'll probably drop me down to about 1.12 million armor, so I'd still be above 1 million armor, but then I would be at skill tier 3. Speaking of skill tier, for the skill tier 2, you get 20% radius and 40% heal plus 2 ammo. Now, to increase that to go up to 3, definitely would make the radius and heal stronger. But for armor repair, 617,970, and of course the PvP, which is 308,985. So not too bad for a good hybrid build. Now on to the hive, 1.911 million health, and then of course the healing on it is 186 per charge, and it works out really well. As you can see, the tier 2 on the hive, 40% healing, 40% range, and 140% health. Now on to the weapons. I actually picked this up, and it's been working out really, really well. The total damage output as far as the base at 53.2 doesn't reflect when I have the empathetic resolve, and of course that other 8% when applying that red debuff, which amplifies my damage, and then of course reduces their damage by 8%. So I'm critting for a little over 100k. So I definitely have a little bit of DPS, but if you want more DPS, like I stated before, you can just take off a blue Lego and instead put some weapon damage on there, and you can make the weapon stronger. But it has 12% SMG damage, 20.5% critical hit chance, 9% critical hit damage. I'm using Optimist. Weapon damage is increased by 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. So roughly every 6 bullets, which is I have 58 in my magazine, because of the True Patriot where it increases my magazine size, because typically without this it would be at 45. So I'm getting 13 more bullets, and that definitely could come in handy, especially with those NPCs and being bullet sponges they are. Sometimes you have to reload at the wrong opportunity in time when they're just like one shot and one bullet, especially if they have a shotgun and they can pretty much one tap you from 30 feet away, which is just insane. Now the second one is of course the Grudge, 67.9k, 900 RPM, 67 in the magazine, 13% SMG damage, 20.5% critical hit chance, and the 4% damage to armor. In a perfect world, since I'm only running around 40% critical hit chance, I would probably prefer some armor damage in place of the critical hit damage on this vector. Once I find one, I will do that, because anything with armor and damage to armor is a lot better, and actually your output damage is a lot stronger. Now going over the character sheet as followed, we'll start out first with the vector here. As you can see, right at 40.6% critical hit chance, 34% critical hit damage. Any way you can get a little extra damage out of it. I crit more times than I don't, so at least I'm over 40%. And once I get a better vector and some other pieces, they have better rolls on them, then I'm pretty sure I can get closer and upwards to around 50%. But like I said, it all depends on your personal playstyle and what you actually prefer in certain spots. This is just my take on it, and something different than just the normal rando LMG True Patriot tank build and other content creators slapping 30 million DPS when they don't even know what DPS is, because you can just go into the firing range, and as long as you continually shoot at a target, your DPS meter is going to go up. So all these clickbait YouTubers that are putting DPS numbers, those are fictitious and aren't really reflective on its actual true numbers, so don't fall for that clickbait. So just take it as a grain of salt by their thumbnails, and watch it at your own risk, but to each their own. Here are my rest of my numbers. 28.6% incoming repairs. There are the rest. Now the other thing to keep in mind, which is I was thinking about, I did come across an M-Line's Guard, 61.8, but as you can see, the SMG damage on it is low, the crit chance is mediocre, and the crit damage is low. But at 900 RPM, 65 round magazine, it's not too bad. And then when killing an enemy repairs 12% of armor over 5 seconds, headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 12%. So if you wanted to go that route, you possibly could. If you don't want to go SMGs, you can go AR, just supplement one of the two pieces that are not True Patriot, whether I have the knees or the chest piece, to say a Fenris to go with ARs, or a Petrop to go with LMG. So it all depends on your personal preference. And of course, I do have another Grudge here that has 5% damage to armor on it as well, but the crit chance is a little bit lower. But whatever SMG floats your goat, then use it, and just take it, try it out. If you want a little bit more DPS, then substitute, one of the blues for more weapon damage. Or if you want a little bit stronger of a heals, which is my heals will be a little bit stronger once I get better rolls on, particular pieces to further my repair skills. But like I said, I'm going to try it out once I find other true Patriot pieces with better rolls and kind of substitute one armor out for DPS, see it that way, or find other pieces to where I can supplement out armor for a skill tier to further my heal output, not only to me, but my team, because that also in turn, while healing them and healing myself, I'm getting weapon damage. But all in all, I'm enjoying it. It's something a little different, so definitely try it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, thank you for all the positive thoughts and prayers. I appreciate you all. We're well on our way to 14K. We just went over 13,500 subs, so I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm humbled by it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you fudging later.